What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out my guitar collection so far. And before we begin, if you haven't already, now would be a perfect chance for you to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notifier so that when I am posting videos, you don't miss them. And this is the first guitar on the roster. I figured I would start out with my two main guitars that I use up on stage. And this one is the C1 Hellraiser from Schecter. I'm sure you've seen it before. I think it's probably one of the more popular models that come out of Schecter that people have. But they mostly have the red version of it, and that's kind of why I chose the white. Also, it just looks nice and classy, doesn't it? I believe it has a rosewood fretboard on it. Obviously, you can see the Floyd Rose on there. I've always had a Floyd Rose, so it kind of feels weird not to have one, and it's kind of become a part of my style. But this has been a workhorse of a guitar, and I've been extremely happy with this guitar. I know it has EMGs, and it's kind of hit and miss with some people, but you know, through my own experiences, if you get a good tone and get it to sound good, even with the EMGs, it sounds amazing. With the right tone, the EMGs will definitely pull through for you. And here is the second guitar in the lineup, my other main guitar that I use up on stage. It is the C7 Silver Mountain FRS. FR for Floyd Rose, and then S for the Sustainiac Stealth Pro pickup in the neck position. I absolutely love the Sustainiacs. I've always wanted to try one, so that's what kind of led me into buying this guy. And then if you're doing any kind of intros with like theatrics, like almost like a movie trailer type stuff, you can throw some really crazy sounds through the Sustainiac and hold a note forever if you want. You can do some awesome dive bombs as well. Something that I really enjoy about this guitar, other than the ebony fretboard, which is so smooth, is the finish on it. So none of the finishes on the Silver Mountain guitars are ever going to be the same. They cover it in a black finish, and then they just chip away at it to create a very unique design, and every Silver Mountain guitar is completely unique to its own self. And this guitar has been such an amazing 7-string. It's probably one of my favorites to play on. I ended up switching out the Sonic Seducer pickups in the bridge. I absolutely do not like the Sonic Seducer pickups. For a high gain tone, the Sonic Seducers do not have enough output on them. So I swapped in a Duncan Invader, which is a great passive high output pickup, and it just sounds amazing. I love this guitar. So I should probably put out a disclaimer saying that most of the guitars you're going to be seeing today are in fact Schecter. Mostly because I am a huge Schecter fan, and also my love for Avenged Sevenfold going through my high school career. So the third guitar, you guessed it, another Schecter. This is the C1 Classic by Schecter, and I ran into this guitar actually because my sister bought it for her husband when I was going through high school, and I would always go over to their house and I would play it. Thank God they would actually let me touch the damn thing, but I would go over there and play it for hours on end, and I think I mostly liked this guitar just because it was a Schecter, and I really wanted one for myself. So when my sister ended up on hard times, I was able to purchase this from them and really give it the love and care that it needed, because it was mostly kind of just sitting around. It does have a lot of wear and tear on it, so I would love to actually get it fixed up. I know it has a little bit of fret issues up here, possibly some neck stuff, but overall it's a great guitar. It sounds really good. It still has the stock pickups, and I'm not sure exactly what pickups they are. I haven't really looked it up, but they sound good to me, so hey, I'm happy with it. I think one of my favorite features on this guitar is the rose vines going up the neck of the guitar, up the fretboard. It's very cliche, but I think it's a nice addition, and it's something that I've always kind of loved about this guitar. This definitely has a lot of sentimental value to me, and right now I'm using it as my secondary guitar, just in case I break a string up on stage on my white Hellraiser. So this is the C1 Classic from Schecter. And now time to break up the monotony with Schecter. with the LTD E256. So you'll probably recognize this guitar from a video that I did not too long ago. If you haven't seen that video and would like to, I will have the link for that right at the top of the screen here. But what really drew me to this guitar was the purple finish on it. I know the camera does not do it justice whatsoever, and you might recognize a difference in the guitar. And I installed a Duncan Invader white and black pickup here. Kind of a funny story on why I bought this guitar. Firstly, I've always seen the Eclipse models from ESP and LTD being played, and I've always wanted to play one myself. And secondly, I had that Duncan Invader pickup for the longest time, and I had no guitar that I could put in that it would be aesthetically pleasing or anything like that. And me being very aesthetically driven, I bought a guitar just because I needed to put this pickup in a guitar. Kind of a dumb excuse, but you know, we'll make any excuse just to buy a new goddamn guitar. But I'll tell you what, this guitar has been such a joy to play, and you know, it's gorgeous and it just sounds great. And then also it has coil tapping features on it, which I am always a fan of if I want to go clean, kind of get a little bit more rhythmically on that. So this has been an awesome guitar, the LTD E256. Alright, we're coming in with another guitar that I recently did a video on. I'll have the link for that video up on the top as well. But this is the Legator N7 FP. And you know, this guitar really surprised me. I kind of went in buying this guitar with not a ton of high expectations. I know there was a lot of quality control issues that I read about through Legator, and you know, the only thing I noticed was the sharp edges on the frets, but that was so easy just to have the guys at Guitar Center grind those down for me. But this guitar feels amazing. It sounds just amazing. It's really good for that djenty stuff, and it is a multi-scale as well, which I don't really have very many multi-scale guitars. It's a 27-inch scale length on top and a 25.5 on the bottom. It just, overall, this guitar is just, it feels great to play, and it's definitely a joy to have it in my guitar arsenal. And we're back with some good, wholesome Schecter goodness. This is actually my very first Schecter that I ever owned. It is the Damien Elite FR Avenger. And FR for Floyd Rose, of course. And this being my very first Schecter, I was right out of high school, and I think I was working at Costco, and they paid me enough to where I could actually afford my own Schecter guitar. You might have noticed the body style as well is the Avenger, which at that time I was still the world's biggest Avenged 7-fold fan, and it is the same body style as Sinister Gates' custom guitar with Schecter. But I didn't want Sinister Gates' custom guitar because when I'm playing up on stage, I didn't want people to say, oh, that's Sinister Gates' guitar. I still wanted that same body style, but in a different color and not his guitar. That's very distinctful, just to kind of keep me as an individual, I guess. But this is the guitar that I played in Fallen and Forgotten with for many years, and it is in the metallic black finish. But I love this guitar. The body style it's still one of my favorite body styles on any guitar ever. And I actually loved this guitar so much that I went out and I bought myself a second one in the see-through black finish so that I had a backup in case I broke a string on this one to still keep looking cool up on stage with the bodies. And speaking of firsts on the guitar, here is my very first 7-string that I ever bought. This is the C7 Damien Platinum guitar. As you can see, it has the awesome inlays of bats flying up the neck, which not a lot of people are a big fan of, but I really like it. I think it's kind of funky, kind of cool, kind of dark, almost vampire-y. And then the matte black finish, which I actually really do like the matte black finish, except for, let me see if I can get it here. Right there, yeah, you can see exactly where my hand lays when I play, which that part on the matte black finish I'm not so keen on. But other than that, I think it looks super sleek. It has EMG pickups, which actually this guitar can get such a filthy high gain tone. So I've recorded a lot with this guitar before, and you can just get those really filthy high gain tones on this guy. And I believe it is a rosewood fretboard on this guy, but this was my very first 7-string, and when I was shopping for the 7 strings, this one just really caught my eye. I've kind of eyeballed it before that and almost did it, but then didn't do it, and one day I just said, screw it, let's go for it, and I ended up purchasing this guy because I wanted to start playing in drop A on a 7-string. So here it is, the Damien Platinum, the C7. Okay, so this guitar might actually shock you a little bit that I have one, and it was actually my very first decent guitar that wasn't like a starter kit guitar, and it is the Epiphone Les Paul Standard. I bought this guy back in 2007 when I was starting out high school, and I didn't quite have enough money for a Schecter, so I went ahead and got this guy. The color just really lured me in. I think it's called the Sunburst, if I remember correctly. If not, I'm sorry. But this was an amazing guitar. It has a lot of memories. I would sit around all day on the weekends with my buddy who also played guitar, and we would just write songs like relentlessly. It was a lot of fun. So a lot of sentimental value in this guitar, and the color, again, it just is absolutely stunning. It's probably the most colorful guitar that I own. So funny story, as a lot of you probably know about Gibson and Epiphone Les Pauls having issues with the headstock snapping off. Well, that very thing just happened to this guitar. Actually, not just happened, but it happened back when I was in high school. So being a teenager, our rooms are not very clean, and I had all kinds of cables on the floor, and I also had a floor stand, which I had this guy in. And walking through my room, my foot hit one of the cords, and the stand came falling face first, and it hit the ground, and the headstock just snapped off. My God, I think my soul left my body at that moment. That was like the most frustrating thing that I think has ever happened to me. Like my best guitar to have that happen. And you can actually see the crack here. And the reason there's that crack there is because my buddy and I were really stupid, and we decided to Gorilla Glue the headstock back on. It's not a terrible job, but I wouldn't mind actually sending this guitar back in and getting it fixed up like brand new. And then also the switch for the pickups, I didn't really know what I was doing, and it was coming loose, so I just cranked it, and I think I just twisted the knobs. So I gotta fix that as well. But this was an amazing guitar. I'm still holding on to it, all that sentimental value in it, and someday, hopefully soon, I'll be able to actually get it back up and running like brand new. So this is my final and last electric guitar that I own. It is the C7 multi-scale Silver Mountain guitar in the Toxic Venom finish by Schecter. I know you guys have seen this guitar several times, and I'm in love with it because green and black is my absolute favorite color combination. So the funniest thing about this guitar is I bought my original Silver Mountain guitar that you saw earlier, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and green and black being my favorite color combination. About a month later after I bought that, Schecter released these guitars, the green one, and then also a red version. I think it's called Blood Moon, but they released this, and I saw it. I was so pissed. I just spent all this money on a guitar of not the color combination that I truly wanted. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the Silver Mountain C7 FR that I have, but if I could get it in the black and green finish, I'm sold. So what I did was I earned up a bunch of money, and I was finally able to purchase this guy. And this is my only other multi-scale guitar. It's also the 27-inch scale length on top and 25.5 scale length on the bottom. It plays really nicely. It's among my favorite 7 strings to play, along with the Legator and my original C7 Silver Mountain. And it came with the Sonic Seducer pickups, which I ended up switching out. And like I said, Sonic Seducer pickups are not my favorite whatsoever. So what I did was I went and bought a set of the Aftermath pickups from Bare Knuckle Pickups. And these pickups are so aggressive and so mean sounding. They are just that filthy high gain tone. I highly recommend Bare Knuckle Pickups if you're looking for a really great high gain toned pickup. And they were easy to work with as well. I did a video on these pickups, and I'll have the link for that up on the top of the screen here. And this is the guitar that really started my YouTube journey. I bought this guitar and I decided, let's make a video reviewing it, playing it, seeing how I like it, and I'll actually have the link for that on the top of the screen as well, along with the Bare Knuckle Pickups video. So this is kind of what started high impact audio right here, and like I said, it's definitely one of my favorite guitars to play. The C7 Silver Mountain in the Toxic Venom finish from Schecter. And that is my guitar collection so far. Is that all the guitars that I'm ever gonna own? Absolutely not. I'm gonna keep making awful excuses just to buy brand new guitars. The guitar collecting never seems to end. What was your favorite guitar that I showed you today? Please let me know down in the comments below. And that is it for the video. Thank you so much everyone for watching. Please, if you could smash that like button, that would be a huge help to me. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notifier so that you never miss a video of mine ever again. My name is Chris with High Impact Audio, and I'll see you next time.